Hi friends, host Eric here, host of Talking with Fast People. And today I want to talk about NTPs and NTJs, but specifically only half of them. I want to talk about the half that are female, namely women INTPs and women INTJs, the true special snowflakes of the typology universe. They're rare. But we at Talking with Fast People are blessed. We've got an INTJ female who's a regular participant, Carolyn, and we've got an INTP female who's a regular participant, Susie. Note, this is in an environment in which we've got a shit ton of NTPs and some NTJs, a couple, mostly NTPs, right? INFJs, yada, yada, yada. We don't have more than one female INTP that I can think of, and we only have one regular contributing female INTJ. That's why I think these are the rarest of the rarest birds in the type universe, so to speak. I call this NTP Woper children. Woper children is a politically correct gender neutral term for women because I wouldn't want to call them women because that'd be talking about men. That wouldn't be cool. So we call them women Wopersons. But son is also male dominant. So we call them Woper children. For example, the most respectful way to refer to Kimberly over there is to say that she is a Woper child. Anyway, let's begin with these population estimates. Note, these estimates are my own. They are consistent with commonly referenced statistics but include my own adjustments. As with any demographic data, these approximate reality, and actual spread of attributes within any given population depends largely on the specific population being studied. These estimates are for the U.S. only, though they may end up being approximately the same for other countries. Let's start with a population of 1,000 people. We'll name this population American persons. 750 of them are sensors, 250 are intuitives. 60 of them are intuitive thinkers. 12 of them are intuitive thinking females, 4 NTJ females, 4 ENTP females, 2 are INTJ females, and 2 are INTP females. So basically 1 out of every 500 people is an INTP female, and that means 1 out of every 250 chicks is an INTP. Explain the demographic. There are about 3 sensors per intuitive, about 3 intuitive feelers for every intuitive thinker, about 3 male intuitive thinkers for every female intuitive thinker. 2/3 of those female INTs are extroverts. 1/6 of the female INTs are INTJ. 1/6 of the female INTPs. Take away, you meet 500 people, probably just 1 is an INTP woman and 1 is an INTJ woman. You meet 250 women, 1 is an INTP, 1 is an INTJ. Hierarchy in groups. The thing about the challenge that NT women have in general, and this is for ENTP, ENTJ women as well, but I think it's more of a challenge for the introverts because they're less active socially anyway. All populations of non-vegetative humans express social hierarchy. Kimberly? For example, Kimberly is having no respect at all for the hierarchy here. I'm doing an important video I'm making, Kimberly. Anyway, hierarchy is the importance of legitimacy or illegitimacy. That's not how to spell legitimacy. Legit. Cool. Legit. Let's see. I don't know if that's how you spell it out. Yeah, I want you to say it in here. Okay, so here, hierarchy is the importance of legitimacy or illegitimacy to individual instead of propositions. In other words, you're not evaluating something on its merits. You're using a heuristic of prioritizing somebody's status to understand. Yes, over here. I'm not recording over there. You're not in screen. If you get a group, hierarchy is inevitability. This is why hierarchy is inevitable. I will get you on screen.
No, that's okay.
Kimberly, please just, I want you to be demure. Remember the demure, demure dichotomy?
Okay.
All right, so what I want to point out here is this, that if you get a group of the most egalitarian folks possible together, there's still a hierarchy. You cannot avoid it. Personally, I can't stand process inequity. To afford some agents more legitimacy as individuals is to necessarily take from that which is meritocracy and to prefer an irrelevant criterion in some circumstances. Also, heuristics, which are basically preferring irrelevant circumstances in some irrelevant criteria in some circumstances. That's what a heuristic is, although we don't normally define it as that. It's a rule of thumb, means it's going to be wrong some of the time. Heuristics are critical to actually functioning in the world, and hierarchy is, if nothing else, efficient. Whom do I wish to fly the plane? I'll take the pilot without further evaluation of the non-pilot candidates, no matter how unfair that might be to the potentially talented amateurs amongst that second population. So to attempt to have a community without a social order is to attempt to make a painting with no canvas. At Talking with Famous People, we uphold as meritocratic a community as is humanly possible, but it's not for some top member of a group to dictate the absence of hierarchy to the lower members. After all, the status to do so is contingent on the hierarchy already being manifest. And at the end of the day, we don't like all people the same, while most people find the same people likable, and thus there's hierarchy. Okay, that's one reason why there's hierarchy. There's merit-based hierarchies, but those aren't really hierarchies per se by my definition of it. So let's go on now to how this relates to the INTP or INTJ or ENTP or ENTP, ENTJ female. So in the status quo, we need to remember that American women judge each other a lot. They like to judge each other in formats like who can have the most perfect house, like Martha Stewart style, or other stuff like that. Here are some of the criteria or dichotomies that they use in judging each other. Graceful versus coarse. That's an FE judgment. Authentic versus fake. That's an FI thing. It's an FI judgment of FE, basically. Skinny versus fat. That's an SE thing or maybe an SI thing. Slutty versus chaste. FE. Together versus hot mess. That's SI or TE. Catty versus nice. FE, FI. Hot versus homely. SE or SI maybe. Good mom versus bad mom. That's going to be FE, FI, TE. We should toss TE in there too. Effective versus lazy. That's TESE. Cold versus warm. FE. Helpful versus selfish. FE, FI. And young versus old. SE or SI. This is definitely partly SI, so put that there too. Okay, so what do you not see on this chart? Anywhere. TI. Chicks don't judge each other for being dumb. They don't. It's not a problem. If you're not a smart chick, it's not a problem. I don't have a problem with it personally. In fact, I'm specifically was looking for a non-intellectual as a mate because I want to provide the intellectualism. I don't want to be receiving it, right? I mean, it's not that I don't. I love engaging about intellectual topics with anybody, but I don't want to. If I had another sort of powerhouse intellectual as their own identity, we would certainly butt heads quite a bit because I'm strongly opinionated. Kimberly here is so fair. She's unbelievably fair. And it makes me be unbelievably fair back because what's true in any relationship, and this is why I would definitely butt heads with somebody who's an intellectual, is I can win those arguments at any time I want. And so it's in what's that word? Incumbent on me to not use those skills unfairly. But with Kimberly, it's very easy because I see her as sort of defenseless, but having the will to defend that which is right, regardless. And also worrisome. She's a worrying person. She worries about things. So it makes me more careful, actually. It doesn't. Whereas if she were a scolder, then it would make me more fighty. But she's a worrier, so it makes me more careful. Those sort of things are how relationships ought to work, which is great if you fall into the main demographics. If you're a thinking male with a feeling female, great. Your society is going to say, like, you guys work perfectly. Aren't you guys cute? Or whatever. But what if it's the other way around? What if you're a thinking female? Now, look, this is how American women judge each other. I don't have a chart here for how American men judge each other, but there's plenty of room for TI in there. Okay? There's plenty of room for NETI. This, you could put like creative or something here, but really, this doesn't include ENTP shit at all. The FE, the ENTP female is going to probably be extremely good at FE compared to an ENTP male. Like my daughter is really cautious with it. She wants to make sure she achieves the outcome, so she's more TE heavy. I think ENTP and INTP females might become more TE heavy as a consequence because you'll notice TE is represented here a little bit. Not much, but a little bit. So what I'm really getting down to here is this is the environment in which an average INTP woman might walk around. She's hearing these kind of dialogues from all of her peers. There are two kinds of women, the graceful ones and those who just don't carry themselves well, as FE women. Or there are two kinds of women, those who are authentic to themselves and their relationships and fake people who only care about what others think. That's your FI women. Those are two primary narratives of judgment they're going to hear. Additionally, they're going to hear body image shit. You're not skinny enough, you're too fat, or you're not pretty enough, or shit like that, which is as gay as shit as you could possibly ever say to anybody or hear. And I heartily disapprove of it, and fuck you if you say those things. Anyway, let's go on to expectation and run afoul. INTPs females will tend to run afoul of familial and societal expectations even at a very young age because the majority of women are feelers. It's broadly internalized. Both the subjective and the objective feeling metrics are feminine, while both the subjective and objective thinking metrics are masculine. Looking back at the ways in which females judge one another, let's do a little bit of analysis now regarding how an INTP is likely to experience that and how it might shape their worldviews and manners of expressing themselves. So, this is the end of part one of the NTP chicks video, which will have at least 2 parts and maybe 3. Kimberly, did you enjoy watching me make that video? Yeah. Thanks for watching me make that video. I appreciate it. It makes it so much more fun to make it if Kimberly's here watching me make it. Don't forget to eat plenty of cheese.